Good morning, my dear students. So, welcome to Royal Palace PU College. So, as we have discussed in previous class, like the microsporogenesis mechanism, let us continue the microsporous, the microsporogenesis mechanism that we called it as the production of the microspores from microspore mother cell or the spore mother cell. That phenomenon we called it as the microspore sporogenesis mechanism. So let us discuss in a brief manner what kind of the questions can be arise in the microsporogenesis. So the microsporogenesis, it indicates the formation of the spores of microspores from a spore mother cell. The formation of the microspores from spore mother cell is called as a microsporogenesis. So let us take the flow chart which can explains about the microsporogenesis mechanism, what we have discussed in the previous class, that we called it as undifferentiated anther So this undifferentiated anther can be in a diploid condition, and it undergoes a periclinal division, means inside the anther, the walls, and it undergoes the periclinal division to produce us the the epidermis, and the formation of the hypodermal strips of archisporial cells, the hypodermal strips of archisporial cells. Then these hypodermal strips of archisporial cells undergoes a periclinal division to produce us the two cells, like we call it as the parietal cells, and the outer parietal cells and inner sporogenous cells. So the outer parietal cells and inner sporogenous cells, and these outer parietal cells can help for the formation of the anther wall layers that we called it as endothecium, and the middle layers, 2 to 4 layers of middle layers, and it is followed by the formation of tapetum. These 3 layers collectively we called it as anther wall. It is a anther wall. And when it comes to the inner sporogenous tissues undergoes a cell division of mitotic to produce us the spore mother cells, or microspora mother cells, or pollen mother cells. The pollen mother cells. And these pollen mother cells are involved in the meiotic cell division and to produce the spores called as pollen grains. So let us, we have to find out all these concepts, like we called it as the Pleiades. When it comes to the Pleiades and what type of the cell divisions, how these cell divisions are helps for formation of the cells, and all these cells performing the different functions, and the variable characters, how they are performing. Let us discuss about the undifferentiated anther. The undifferentiated anther, we called them it as a anther, as a microsporophyll. If you have to observe in the male sporophyll, the male sporophyll is the structure where the nourishment and the production of the pollen grains is occur. That site we called it as the anther. That anther, it is in diploid condition because it is developed from the sporophytic plant body. That's why it is in diploid condition by involvement of the flower and the sepals, petals. All these are the modified leaves. That's why in a stem, whatever the buds, like the node regions, bud regions, which helps for the formation of the leaves, branches, stems, like these formation is depends on the mitotic cell divisions or the cell differentiation process and de-differentiation process and redifferentiation process. Like different kinds of the cell division processes are involved production of the different structures, like it may be the leaf or the flower or a fruit, like branches and like different parts of the plant bodies. Likewise, in the anther is a diploid structure. Why? Because it is derived from the a modified leaf structure. The flower is nothing but of a modified leaf. That's why it is in diploid condition. It is developed moreover from the sporophytic part of the plant body. And these anthers, inner, it undergoes a periclinal cell divisions. The archisporial cells are helping, and during that it produces the epidermis. That epidermis, it indicates the outermost layer of the cell, or we call it as the outermost layer of the anther. That we call it as the epidermis. And these epidermal cells here periclinal division. That's why it is in diploid condition. And along with this epidermis region, towards the hypodermal strips, the archisporial cells are located, and these archisporial cells participate in a periclinal, the periclinal division. So this periclinal division can help for formation, like the periclinal divisions can be helps for formation of two types of the cells, towards the parietal region or outer side region, the formation of the parietal cells, and inner region, the inner sporogenous cells formation purpose. This periclinal cell division can help. Now these archisporial cells also in diploid condition, and these archisporial cells undergoes periclinal division to produces the parietal cells and inner sporogenous cells. The former cells are in diploid condition, outer parietal cells and inner sporogenous cells. These sporogenous cells also in diploid condition. Then the parietal cells are involved the another periclinal cell division to produce endothelium and middle layers and the tapetum. These parietal cells can help for formation of endothelium and middle layers and tapetum. All these three layers collectively we call it as the anther walls. These each of the layer of anther wall are in diploid condition. They are in a diploid condition, but the tapetum is in a polyploid condition. It is in polyploid condition. So why this is in polyploid condition? In the sense because the tapetum is deriving by periclinal cell division, that's why here 3n condition or polyploid condition we can observe. Because the characters of this tapetum, like we called it as multinucleate cells, the matured tapetum cells having the multinucleated cells are the cell having multinucleated condition, as well as more amount of DNA, more DNA it is present, then dense cytoplasm is present. The cells of tapetum, the tapetal cells having the conditions or different characters that we called it as each of the cell of tapetal having a multinucleated condition and more DNA concentration and the dense cytoplasm. These are the basic characters having the tapetal cells. That's why they are in polyploid condition. Due to multinucleate, automatically they will become a polyploid in condition. And when it comes to the inner sporogenous cells, these inner sporogenous cells undergoes a mitotic cell division to produce the pollen mother cells or spore mother cell. The spore mother cell also diploid in condition. Then the diploid spore mother cell undergoes meiotic cell division to produce the pollen grains, that we call it as the spores. The spores are in a haploid condition because they involved the meiotic cell division, the meiosis process or the meiotic cell division. So by the result of meiotic cell division, the spore mother cell. So if you have to observe the structure of a spore mother cell, this, if we may think it is a spore mother cell which has composed of the spores, those we called it as the 4 spores are present. Let us take, these are the spores. It is a mother cell. This we called it as mother cell, the spore mother cell, and having the spores, those we called it as pollen grains. These we can consider as the pollen grains. So these we called it as the pollen mother cells. So the pollen mother cells with spores like 1, 2, 3, 4, like tetrads of spores will be formed by each of the mother cell. While you have to observe each spore or one spore to another spore and this spore to this spore, like in between them there is a certain membrane are present. That membrane we can consider as a callose. So callose is a substance which will help for the attachment of one spore to the another spore, and from all that four spores they are attached with one another with the help of the callose. The callose substance can help for attachment of these spores. And whenever the callose will be present, which will help for attracting or attachment of these spores. Once this pollen mother cell will become matured, now due to the help of an enzyme called as callase. The callase is an enzyme which helps for to rupture of or to rupture the nature of these callose. Due to that help, these pollen grains will be get detached and comes outside as in the form of individual spores. So during that time, for this callose, the rupture of the callose layer purpose, the callase is an enzyme. This enzyme can be performing the major role for production of the individual spores. During individual spores formation, it should be depends on this callose rupture by the help of a callase enzyme. If you have to observe, these are present in a mother cell, like we can observe the shape. In case of the dicotyledons, the tetrads are in dicots. In dicots, the spores are in a tetrahedral. In shape, whereas in case of the monocots we can find a isobilateral shape. So in monocots we can find isobilateral shape of the cells, those we can consider as the isobilateral shapes of the pollens. And inverted T-shaped or the decussate shaped or valvate shaped, those structures also we can observe in a different plant species. But mostly in most of the dicots having the tetrahedral spores, those are in 4 haploid spores. These haploid spores are attached with one another by the help of a callose substance. And whereas these cells of mother cell, those spores are in isobilateral shape in the monocots. When you have to observe, commonly the mother cells can be produced 4 cells, 4 spores. Sometimes, during sometimes what will happen, these spores, the tetrads of spores may produce more than that 4 number of these spores. The best example like Cuscuta. Well, you have to observe the Cuscuta as a species or a plant, the general plant of a species or a Cuscuta, which has composed of spores, especially each mother cell having 11 spores. The tetrahedral composed of 11 spores in case of the Cuscuta organism, or it is a one plant group. In that Cuscuta, it is composed of 11 spores. In that plant of Cuscuta as composed of the mother cell, 11 spores are present in this tetrahedral manner. And this condition of spores we call it as the polyspory condition. This condition of spore production we called it as the polyspory condition.
So in this polyspory condition, we can observe more number of the spores. So more number of the spores can help, that's why we are calling it as a polyspory. More number of the spores are developing. So like there are lot of questions will be asked in a neat manner, like we called it as the Pleiades. When it is the Pleiades of the wall layers, then it is followed by the involumentary of the cell divisions, then what is a polyspory condition, which species it can performing, that questions, and what is the shape of the tetrads of pollens in case of the monocots and dicots. These kind of the questions they will be asked for a neat examination point of view. So thank you for watching these videos. So the remaining concepts we will be continue in the next class. Thank you.